All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good happy noon. Welcome to a live broadcast today with Real Life, Real Women. It is such an honor for me to welcome a dear friend of mine, Hélène Savignac. Welcome and thank you for joining me today, Hélène.
Thank you for inviting me. And it is so funny. I didn't realize until last week that it was going to be in English. So
Yeah.
it is my first time to have make a Facebook Live in English. So it's very funny. So I might sometimes looking for my words, but the essence of what I want to say, well, I think will be good. So
I have no doubt, and I honor the fact that you have the courage and the willingness to do this in English, because I know that it's definitely outside of your usual comfort zone.
Yeah, but it's very. I'm fine with it, and it's an honor for me to be invited to this blog. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So Hélène, you and I met. I would say it's interesting moments in both of our lives, and I think that we've had the kind of mold, very similar mold, where we were both warriors. We were warrior queens, and nobody was going to mess with us no matter what. And if we didn't like what you had to say, we would tell it to you straight up, whether or not you appreciated it or even were open or welcome. Ready to hear it.
It's true.
Yeah, and I think that that's part of what's made our friendship so unique, is the fact that we have both come from that that warrior, that suit of armor, and we both consciously made the choice to say, you know what, someone has shown me that there's something different, there's something else that's available, and I'm willing to let go of that suit of armor to really welcome the vulnerability that comes with feeling completely naked and not having that suit of armor there, and saying yes to reconnecting to the essence and then emanating that. And I think that, I salute you, because you have done it so wonderfully. And I'd love to hear you share a bit about the impact that it's had on you, on your friendships, your relationships, your business, because you are a very successful businesswoman.
Thanks a lot, Sandy. The impact is huge. And in fact, at first, I didn't know I was saying yes to connect to myself, in fact. Yeah, I was in a mood that I was working so hard and making things happen and everything. And it was a point that in my life, personally, I was a single woman, and I was also working so hard, and I didn't have time really to have quality time for my personal life at first. And also the thing is, with my son, I love my son for sure. You know me, I love my son. But at that time, I was not really enjoying quality time with him during the week. I was always thinking, well, I'm losing my time. I have to work to do and everything. And it was like that. And I have to prove myself that I was able to go and get everything in my life. So it was the same in the sport. So I was always want to perform. I always want to perform with my friends in the party. I put myself in a way that it was my responsibility to make the party a success. So every time it was always on my shoulders to do that. So the impact to choose to connect to myself, at first, I didn't know that something else was possible, in fact. So I had to, the Sylvie that we both know to know each other, did go to at first with my professional life, because I was not willing to open up for my personal life. But we are a human, so it's the same thing. So I used to, how could I say that? Compartment? Can I say that?
Yes, you would compartmentalize your life.
Exactly.
Motherhood, business.
Exactly, the professional life, the personal life, the life with friends and everything. But in fact, we are a human being, and it's all the same. And it's so much easier and lighter when it's all the same. It's like work is extension of yourself. So you're not a different person at work than in your personal life. You're always the same person. And the big impact is so much lighter. Now I'm enjoying a lot spending time with my son. I'm able to put my phone off at when I finish my day, and I'm really enjoying it. Sometimes you have some things to do and it's not possible, but I'm able right now to schedule my week and have some time with him. So it's a big thing for me to really enjoying myself playing with him. So it's a big thing, a big impact. And professionally also, the impact is I'm really enjoying. Some of the times I was able to do some things, but I didn't so much enjoy it. I was like doing by obligation, because I was like a prisoner of my lifestyle in working. So it was not so fun to have the obligation to do some things during the night, to do something, you know that it's okay, but you're not so, it's a bit, how can I say, heavy to have to do all these things. And I have so much to-do list. And it was so much heavy to support that during the day. And when I decided to connect to myself, and you take some time to just breathe during a day, just breathe, to all the priorities are more clearer, and you can decide what is the priority of the day, what you have to do, in fact, what is the action that will have a big impact in your life. So I don't know if I express it the right way, but it's really like that. It's lighter, it's funnier, and I honor more myself to be authentic with the choice that I make in all sphere of my life. It's all the same thing. And sometimes you have to, some of the relationships are completed because it's not, and it's okay, but it's not in conflict. It's like just fluid. You made some different choices, and sometimes with your friends, it's not the same thing. It's like you don't see them as often as it was, but it's just okay. My roof, all this went down of my roof.
That's hilarious. You were just talking about how much lighter everything
is. Now the roof is lighter.
That is hilarious. It's exactly like that. You had your house, your roof, and it was holding all of that snow, and it just let it go. And I think that's kind of what you were able to do as well, right? If I can remember, like we had been walking around with this huge backpack on our backs, but we never even realized that it was there. It was just part of, that's life. You know, how many times have you said, well, you know, that's life. You gotta, you know, work hard to play hard, and you gotta really, it's always in that effort. And I think things can be just so much more enjoyable. I know even I've told my son, like, hey buddy, you know, sometimes mommy gets a bit distracted with her phone. You're allowed to tell me, Mom, put your phone down.
Yeah.
And it's great that he's said that sometimes, like, Mommy, and I'm like, you're right, I'm sorry, buddy. And I just put the phone down, and I'm being complete quality of presence with him. And I think that's, you know, as a mom is huge. And would you say that at one point, you know, sometimes and like we know that we love our children, but would you say that at some times you felt that motherhood was a bit of a nuisance, or kind of a flow that, like, it wasn't productive?
Yeah, exactly. That's a part of the things what I felt that it was not okay. You know, even though you talk about some programmation that we have to work hard to be able to take vacation, we have to work hard to be someone in the society, and so all these kind of programmation. So you have to be the best mom, you have to be the best worker, you have to be the best in everything. So when you arrive to be a mother, you have to be best, but when to have to be productive, how can you be productive with your child? Yeah. You just have to be you and enjoying the moment with him, and just to, like you said, to be in quality of presence, to enjoy full the moment. It's not a question of productivity. It's just a question to see that little boy discovering life. Yeah. And we just are a guide to this. I'm a guide to him, just to assist him to discover life and having some nice conversation. And we don't, even though it can be just to play games with him, and he don't take, if he lose and he's not happy with that, it's a right thing to show him what it can be in life. Like, okay, when you lose, what can happen? What can you choose as a reaction? Yeah. So even though in playing, you can have, in fact, it's kind of productivity, but it's not productivity. You are in quality of presence and you're showing some of the way to enjoy life. So that is it's a big difference. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it's like, so in every sphere of your life, efficacy is very more different than productivity. So you cannot say, okay, I will be best at between 5 o'clock and 5:30 is quality time with my son. It's not like that. Life is not like that. So you have to always sometimes be able to enjoy some different things, that life is not always showing up like you want it to, in control. And that's another subject, I think. But when you see motherhood differently, it's such a gift to be able to share some moments with my son. And when you're so much in the rat race of everyday life, you take that for granted. I think it was in my case anyway. And it was like another action between other action to do. So it's really enjoying the moment. It's very different.
Yes, and I think that you are a beautiful example of what it means to be a real woman in real life, and you've dissolved all of those titles that you and I grew up with, being super mom, super woman, prove to the business world and prove to men that you can be just as good as them. And oh, by the way, between two projects, I'll just pop a baby out, but continue with my life as if nothing happened. And so being able to reconnect to the essence and just show up and enjoy what's there as a woman, but as an essence in a human body, regardless of the sex, it's just being real to what's there and what's present in your life. And I think we've talked about motherhood, but in business, I attended a conference this week where you were a panelist for women in business, and you were just so inspiring with what you shared about the fluidity in your life of the different roles that you play and how your business has changed. Do you want to talk a bit about how that has impacted you being more authentic, I think, in your everyday life in terms of your business, because you're a business owner, right? And a few businesses now.
And thanks for asking. It's a good question. In fact, for people that know me, I was always authentic person. It means in the integrity things. I'm assisting entrepreneurs with their business, with business transfer and expansion. Mm-hmm. But some of the times when you focus all your things on productivity, to be the best, to be successful and everything, sometimes it can go from a place that you will accept some business contract that that you're able to do it, but it's not at the highest level of your potential. You just take the contract because, okay, I'm afraid maybe I will not have enough job, and I will have a lack of money. I will lack of contracts. I will lack of success and everything. And you make some choice that are not 100% in alignment with you. Mm-hmm. And always when it happens, you're doing something and it's giving you money back. That's good, but you're so not enjoying what you do. You're able to do it, and it's great. But when it's not so light, the time you take first, it can take you more time to do it, and you're not enjoying yourself doing it. So when you're in that mood, it's very hard to be inspired to just look at the opportunity, just to be in a mood that you can have many things that around you. You're just in a mood of plenitude, of well-being, and things happen there. And when you're in that mood that you take and do something by obligation, and because you have to do it, because you have to pay for your bills, you have to do it for that kind of reason, it's so the vibration is not so well, and sometimes you're focused on that things, and you may have some other opportunity that are just there and it will be easy, light, fun, and everything. So that's why I did experience since for 2 years right now. But it can be very fearful sometimes because you don't have any things you don't have this kind of experience. And sometimes you say, you know what, if I complete this contract with this customer, because it's not that it's just because of, okay, I want to do some things that I really enjoying it, and I'm really me in that. So if you do no concession on that, it make all the difference. Because when people feel that you're in that zone, that some people said the X zone, it's like people can feel it. And when people can feel it, everything is more easy. They feel it, they want to do business with you, they want to reference you to other people. So it's all the difference to sometimes do some things. So I'm talking about work, but in every sphere of the life is the same thing. When you do things by obligation because you want to make an effort to prove yourself and everything, it's always the same. It's very, for the energies, like it's very, you can be very tired to do that. And you're just in the mood that is not wow. So when you're wow, people feel it and see it, and it's like things happens.
It really is, eh? And you can even feel it. I feel it when you're talking, how you'll take on a client, let's say, like you were saying, where it's heavier, and just all the work that you do with them is just always a little more difficult, a little bit longer than usual. Whereas when you're welcoming clients and projects that really vibrate within you, well, it vibrates to the point where that's exactly the vibration that you're sending back out. And so it creates this beautiful wave where that's what you're sending out, that's what's coming back. And so it's such a wonderful light dance. And that is not something we've been used to or been taught that it's supposed to be that way, right? We grew up with
the opposite.
Yeah,
when I'm sharing that, it's like a bit, it's all against what the society put some valorization right now. It's like you do some efforts, you have to be the best. You have to be in competition with other people, not collaboration. You have to be the best from other people. But you know what? When you're in your unicity and you're just yourself,
yeah,
it's making a big difference. There's no competition. When you're really yourself, you're always one person, things like that, produce things like that, create things like that, sings like that. It's all different. So when you see other people, even though in your business sector, as potential collaborator, it's making a big difference. You're not in competition. So the things that you can realize and have expansion with, it's making all very much different. And it's lighter. It's fun to collaborate with people, to make partnership. It's so much fun when you are in the same place and you're just you. That's the main thing I want to say, is like, it's more simpler to be just you, but we are so good with our head to to want to be somebody else, to please other people, please our family, please. That's the point where we disconnect from ourselves, and it's getting complicated for nothing, in fact. But sometimes it's so much simple that we resist to do it.
Oh yeah,
it's clear what I'm explaining it, but it's like
there's no reward in it being easy. But you're absolutely right. When you're in your unique gift and you're sharing that, knowing, yes, sure, someone can do something similar, but no one will do it exactly the way you uniquely do it, because you're unique. And that's, I think there's such beauty and power with what you're sharing. Just so you know, we have a few watchers right now. And so we have Carol Rose saying, yes, fluid through all of life. And Sylvie, who's sharing how it's so powerful what you're just sharing. Hélène, thank you for your courage and your authenticity. And, I really, I feel honored to have such a beautiful friend with in you, and the friendship that we've been able to build over it's been 2 years, really, right? And and it has completely shifted and transmuted. And when we meet up, there's just there's such love in our hearts for one another. And there isn't, I think, what would have probably been present 5 years ago, where we would have wanted to compete and prove that, we're better, even though we're not even in the same kind of businesses, right? Whereas now, here we are in an interview, sharing about each, like the unique gift of each person and the beautiful collaboration that can be present between women, which is also something that I think we could talk about that for half an hour.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know what? Thanks for asking, because when you feel sometimes that people are not open to really have the answer to these kind of questions, sometimes you don't want to how can I say that, to want more for the other person to be open. And the kind of question that you ask give me the opportunity to share really what is going on inside. And it's an honor for me, and it's making me very happy to have the opportunity to share that with people who wants to hear it, in fact.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And, you keep emanating and shining your beautiful light. It is such a pleasure to have you in my life. Thank you for that. And thanks for joining us today in Real Life, Real Women.
Thanks so much for inviting me. It's very fun to have this conversation with you. And if I can maybe add something, I don't know if we have the time. You talk about the friendship that we had. If I can just go back a few years ago, I had some kind of frame of the kind of friend I have to be friend with. And even though you say to yourself, no, I'm not a people that judge everybody, that judge other people, I was like, just wanted to say a kind of frame of this type of criteria to be my friend. I realize that it's so just to enjoy what is going on between two persons without having any criteria. I'm thinking about the friendship that I have with you, but I'm thinking about all people I have interaction with. So I realized that I did close myself to so many magnificent people that I was just going narrow-minded. Can I say that? Narrow-minded about how it has to be in relationship. So it's very nice to have developed a relationship with you, Sandy. That is so it's so easy. That is what it is. It's so easy. It's not about, oh, you didn't call me last week, or you didn't do that, you didn't did that. It's like, and I know if at a point we are not comfortable with something, we will be able to address it with a lot of love and respect, just to make it more deeper friendship and everything. So that is very beautiful, and thanks to you to give me the opportunity to develop a different kind of friendship with different kind of women. So thanks a lot to you.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's true. You're absolutely right. Being able to, sometimes we think, and we'll do the same thing, not just, I think, with friendships with women, but sometimes even when we're picking a mate, we're like, that's my kind of guy, and nowhere would I ever even consider that kind of guy. So when you take those filters off, you're able to welcome so much more, and there's no judgment, and you just welcome what's there. And so you can enjoy, authentic friendships. And like you say, we don't have to talk every week to know that the friendship's there, but I'm sure that I can pick up the phone anytime and say, hey, I'm in trouble, can you help? And you'd be like, I'm there, what do you need?
Exactly. So when you open yourself, there's so much beautiful things that can happen in your everyday life, and it is so fun.
It is, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you, and we will see each other again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.